What is up, everybody? It is Zachary Reality, and welcome to Zachary Reality. Today we have on a very special guest, Sydney Dorsey, who was unfortunately just eliminated from the Anonymous. If you guys have not watched it, the first 3 episodes are now streaming on the USA Network. The show is so good. I'm so invested, and I can't wait to see what is to unfold. How do you feel now being off the show, knowing the season's about to premiere? Do you know what's going to go down? What are you excited to see? And welcome. How are you?
I'm doing so good. Honestly, it was a whirlwind. And even for us, we were there, we were filming and still seeing the previews. We're like, holy shit, like this happened, this took place. Like, and it's so crazy because the way that we're able to watch it, we're like, holy crap, there was a lot of drama there that even we didn't see. But I'm super excited to watch it all unfold on TV. And yeah.
Yeah, it must be such like a mind F when you film it and then you like relive it, but there's also like the editing and the music and you don't really know what people are saying behind your back. And it's also probably interesting watching it and seeing everyone's emojis, like who they actually were, because you probably didn't get that clarity when you left.
Oh my gosh, no, I didn't get that clarity when I left. And it is so insane, like especially watching the previews that had came out and seeing that Andy was this person and Robbie was this person. I'm like, how did I not put this together? Like, oh my gosh. So I was kind of like mind-boggling and I was like, Sydney, come on. Like, you really could have get your crap together and figure that out.
Yeah, it's such an interesting concept that everyone's like hiding behind this emoji, but then you're also going out to hang out with each other and compete in challenges. I know you weren't there very long, but it's like, how are you supposed to know who's who? Like, what was your mind when you heard about the rules and what strategies people could use? Like, where did that kind of go for you?
So when I first heard the concept and the rules of the game, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be able to kind of catch on very easy. No, 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 no. It was not as easy as you thought. And it was, people won't be able to kind of grasp that aspect unless they were sitting in that room themselves. It was one of the hardest games. Like, this isn't Monopoly. This
Mhm.
is one of the hardest games I've ever played in my life. And majority of the time when I was sitting in these rooms, I couldn't figure out myself who was who. And I was just drawing the emojis on my iPad majority of the time and then just hoping I could match somebody up with them, that they would say something in the chat that I could figure out who they were. But after the first chat and we went back and conversated with each other face to face, the mood shift was absolutely insane. Like,
Mhm.
everybody was just kind of looking around. Nobody wanted to talk to anybody. And I was over here like, well, y'all just threw my ass under the bus. So somebody better speak up.
Yeah, everyone's being so fake behind the emoji, but like say it to my face. But
Yes.
that's the game that you're playing, and that's what the whole concept of the show is. Can I ask how you got cast on The Anonymous to begin with? Like, how did The Anonymous find you?
I was actually scouted by Kat Dunn, who is now working as, I guess, a casting manager or whatnot. And it was super crazy for me because I had like 4,000 followers on Instagram. But I think what may have drawn her in was the fact that I was maybe like a pageant girl or a Monster Energy girl. So I did that. I did have that public relations kind of attitude to me. So they reached out and I was kind of explained, didn't have much information of the show, honestly, but I was like, it's a reality show. Like, what do I have to lose? Like, I'm a
Hmm.
small town girl. Like, anything would be huge. And then I went through the casting process and interviews after interviews. And then they told me I made the final cast. And I was like, holy crap, I'm about to go film a reality show.
Yeah, I'm sure it is so exciting, and you don't really know what to expect, especially with a show that it's on its first season. So you're really going into it blind, and like I totally understand that you just want to like say yes to life. Like, why would you not go? But one thing you did hide is that you were in a relationship, and we saw you flirting a little bit, and you said that your boyfriend wouldn't care, back at home. What would have happened? Would you have never told anyone? Like, why was that your strategy?
So when I first got um, started interviewing for the show, I was single. And so in my head, watching previous reality shows, I was going to use that as my strategy. So interview after interview, I kind of talked on that strategy a little bit and they thought it would be a good strategy. And so after my boyfriend and I started dating, and it's one of those when like we're gonna get married kind of things. And so I'm like, oh, I need to sit you down and have a little talk.
Hmm.
So I sat him down and I was like, listen, there's $100,000 on the line. What should I do? How should I play this game? And he looked at me, he said, if you got to flirt to win $100,000, we can deal with that after the $100,000.
Hmm.
And so even going into the game, it sounds pretty bad, but it was more of just conversating and spending a lot of time with this one person. Honestly, no flirtatious movements, just really trying to give them the attention to become an ally.
Hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you got to do what you got to do to win. I mean, it's not a dating show, so it's not like you would have had to like lie too much. You were just kind of withholding a big part of you, but everyone was lying on the show about something. So that's the name of the game. What did you think of the first couple episodes? What was your kind of reactions to how you came across and what you did, and just like kind of like your vibe on watching yourself on TV?
I have absolutely no idea how I was going to come across. I'm a bombshell from a small town. I'm a business owner. I'm a hustler. I'm a little country girl. So I had no idea what was going to come out of my mouth and what was going to be displayed on TV. But I've actually absolutely loved seeing everything. And I feel like it's an accurate representation of me. Honestly, depending on what day it is, I have so many different personalities. But I have loved seeing the show, and people from my small town have loved seeing it. People that have known me since I was little. And it's so funny because in middle school, I was voted most likely to become famous. And although I'm not this big star yet, it was just so cool that one of my middle school friends brought it up. And I was like, listen, you guys put this in my path, and I was going to make it come true. So it's been a huge thing and a gift to watch.
I love that. Now, as I mentioned earlier, you were sent home, which is so unfortunate. I would have loved to see you go farther. What do you think you did wrong? Do you have any regrets? It's kind of hard to say, right? But like, is there anything you think you could have done differently to stay in the game longer?
Gosh, that's kind of like a conversation that a lot of people like, what if I would have done this? What if I would have done that? Even being a pageant competitor and
Hmm.
not winning, like what if I would have done this differently? So started the fact I was the youngest one there by 5 years. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but I was also very vocal and I love conversating with people, getting to know people. Those who kind of sit back behind the curtains and like don't say a lot are normally the people that go further. And I am just not one of those people. If I had the chance to do it over again, I think I would try that route. To be a little quieter, to be more observant. But maybe one day I'll get the chance to compete again and we'll
Yeah.
try that objective out.
Yeah. I mean, if you're like too friendly and too nice, then, everyone's like looking at you. They're like, wow, she really gets along with people.
Yeah.
But if that's your personality, like you got to hold it back, right? So you never really know that until you play a competition show. But who do you want to see go far moving forward? Who did you really bond with and who are you rooting for? Especially maybe after watching the first couple of episodes, like who did you kind of see on screen and you're like, wow, I wonder what's going to happen with them.
Oh my gosh. I loved each of my castmates so much. But it's so crazy because obviously I was supposed to be flirting with Christopher,
Hmm.
but Christopher actually is not far from where I'm from. And since coming off of the show, my boyfriend and him have been in contact and are going to go play golf together. And
Hmm.
he's just a small town person like I am. And we really got to make that connection there. And almost like we were good high school friends, graduated from the same class. Like
You
to see
want,
Christopher go
yeah.
very far. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I will say I'm kind of rooting for Jack. I think he's really smart. He's been the anonymous, already a couple of times. So I feel like
The
he is,
audacity for you to say that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel like he's interesting to watch, but like I said, I'm watching the show. You were there. So time will tell. But thank you so much for your time. I hope that everyone enjoyed watching you on the show. Where can everybody follow you on social?
So my Instagram is Sydney Dorsey with it's SydneyDorsey. And then my TikTok is Sydney Dorsey.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, and we will chat soon. Bye,
Yay!
guys.